Red alert, health and safety warning. I'm going to sing. You can see my notes up there on the screen, can't you? How closely will I follow them? Okay, now's the time to click away, or maybe pause the video and comment how bad do you think I'm going to be. So, in a previous video, it was about Olivia Rodrigo's song Vampire, and I was commenting on the audio quality because it got really loud and distorted to the end. And personally, I didn't like it. Some people might like it, and if you like it, then you like it, and that's fine. But I think it sounded terrible. But it was okay at the start. It was really quite quiet at the start and a very soft, intimate vocal. And I thought it came across quite well. Here's a clip of the vocal isolated.
I hate to give the satisfaction asking how you're doing now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool guy, you got it.
Okay, it's a rather thickened vocal sound, so there's some distortion on the S sounds and there's some thickening of the T, K and G, that kind of thing. So it's not natural. But on the other hand, it's quite captivating to listen to it like that, and I don't think I would want to do that for my preference, but if I was going to do it, how would I go about it? So I commented on that in the previous video. I don't know how they did it. I would give it a rough guess. But if I was going to attempt such a sound, this is how I would do it. So let's do it. I'm not going to sing, I'm looking at my notes, as you can see. I'm not going to sing live, I'm pre-recorded. You'll thank me for that. Okay, so I was going to mention my cough. I've got a little bit of a cough. It's not COVID, so don't worry about catching that. And, not about outside. Don't worry about catching that. And my cough was just starting when I recorded my vocal, so it did affect my voice a little bit, but it doesn't matter. So, as the YouTubers say, what do they say? Let's get into it. Okay, so let me just play it now, and here it comes. You can click away if you like. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here it comes.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it. Blood sucker.
I'm just going to take those other instruments down a bit because I boosted them up because I thought they weren't loud enough, but now they're too loud. So let's just play that again.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it. Bloodsucker, dream crusher, bleed me dry like a godless vampire.
Okay, so that is it. I really am sorry that I had to subject you to that, but what else can I do? So we can see here we've got the vocal track, and let's just make that a bit bigger. And these are the plug-in effects that I'm using, and I'll start off by deactivating them all so we can listen to just the vocal by itself, which I don't think you're going to find it all that impressive, but let's go.
I hate to give
Need to solo it.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted.
Okay, you can definitely hear the rasp in my voice. I'm not always like that. I'm going to put this reverb plugin in because I know that I'm going to want to use reverb, so why not just have it in there all the way from the beginning. So let's hear it with the reverb.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it.
Okay, that sounds like quite a lot of reverb, but in the context of the mix, it'll be okay. I think it's the right level. This is an emulation of the famous Lexicon LX. It's an imitation of the famous Lexicon 480L. This plugin is called the LX480, which is a digital reverb unit from the 1980s. I'm going to say that some people are 480L and some people are 224. Was it 224XL? I'm more of a 224 kind of person, but this one will work just fine for my purpose. So let's get rid of that. and go on to the next one, which is this. So I've got my camera in front of the screen, so I can't see all of it at the same time. So I'm going to have to shift the window around. So this is the virtual mix rack. So it's got several modules that you might find in a proper studio, and several that you might not. So this one here, the first one, is an emulation of a Neve mixing console. So, well, it's just an emulation of a Neve mixing console. Neve is a famous brand of mixing console. There you go. And here we've got a compressor which will even out the level of the vocal. I said in the original video that the first thing I would do, I should cover this. The first thing I would do, actually before the first thing I would use a tube microphone, a vacuum tube microphone for its lovely warmth characteristics. And then I would put that through a vacuum tube preamp, once again for its lovely warm characteristics, with the gain setting high and the output level low to compensate, so you get more warmth out of it, more distortion, if you want to put it like that. So that's the first thing I said I would do, but I didn't. Just for convenience, I just used my normal Sennheiser mic, this mic here, which is not really known as a vocal mic, but hey. And then the next thing I said I would do was be to even out the levels of all the different syllables and do that manually. And once again, I didn't do that because I'm just too damn lazy, so I didn't do that. But that does have benefits if you do that. Just so that I can see what I'm doing here. This next one is an EQ. And there's not much EQ on this. There's just like half a notch there on the high frequency and quarter of a notch maybe, and half a notch on the high mid frequency. And there's nothing on the low mid, and there's nothing on the low frequency, and there's no filter. So it's not doing very much, but sometimes not doing very much can be exactly the right thing to do, because these kind of things, they do add up. And what a lot of small changes can add up to a significant change. And this last one on the end is a harmonic generator, so I'm giving it an extra little bit of distortion there. So what I'll do with this, I'll just take them all out. See, it's behind my camera. And I'll play the audio and then I'll progressively put them back in. So here we go.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it.
So we've got quite a difference there already, and I'll just bypass the whole thing.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about?
I think you'll agree that's clearly audible, and it's rather featureless without it, and it's more present with it, and it's just, I think, a more appropriate sound for this style of music. But we've got more. Now this is the interesting one, because this is the Freak Tube. And it says select a key for better performance, but I can't select a key because I'm using my screen recording software and I've got to do all sorts of things, just jump through all sorts of hoops to record the audio. So I'm just going to have to miss that out, but it won't matter in this demonstration. So this is the Freak Tube, and it looks like a plug-in, but just dropped something. But it is that, and it's a hardware device, and inside there there are vacuum tubes, or thermionic tubes if you want to call them that, or you can call them valves like the old English duffers say. So it's a hardware unit that connects to the computer via a USB 3 cable, so there's no audio inputs at all, and I think this is a really neat idea. Some people complain about having no audio inputs, but I think this is a good thing in this sense. So I'm routing it through the plug-in part of it, through this E83cc valve, tube, or whatever. And I'm going to get some warmth out of it. So let's just see what we get. I'll just start it off in bypass. Oh, the bypass is down here on this one. I don't know why that is. And then I'll switch it in and we'll hear the difference. Okay, I'm back. I have resolved the problem, and I don't really know what I've done. which can sometimes be the way, but it's working now, so let's just press on. So I've got my preset that I was using previously, and I've got the settings that I decided previously that I like. So I'll start with the bypass on, so it's not active, and then I'll switch it in.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted.
Okay, so it's a bit louder, and of course anything that's louder sounds better. I could correct it using the level control down here, but I'm just going to press on with it. So what we can see here is we've got a drive control and a harmonics control. So if I set that harmonics control back to 0, and I'll just take the drive down a bit, and we can hear the difference it makes.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what...
You can see we get a good range of control there, and I think even right up full there, that could be useful for some purposes. And it goes further than that because we can add another 18 decibels to it. And that's a lot. Let's see what we've got here. And it's going to be loud, but I should, if it's too loud, I'll turn it down in the video edit. Here we go.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of...
Okay, that's awful. But I like to have more than I need. I don't like to have just enough. I like to have more, and that is well more. It's more than anyone could need, except someone's going to take that as a challenge. So let's go back to where I was, which was position number 7, and we'll have a go with these harmonics here, and you'll see them in these two windows.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about?
It is a bit weird because on this setting, which is squaring off the bottoms of the waveform, I find the distortion a little bit unpleasant. But when we go to the higher settings and we're squaring off the top, I find it much more pleasant. I think that's probably biasing the tube asymmetrically rather than in the middle as it would be there. But why it should be different at top and bottom, I don't know. Maybe someone could tell us in the comments, but let's just listen to it again.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about?
Okay, and because this is a hardware unit, I've got some controllers on it, and I can actually do it with using the knob.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted.
Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get rid of that and see where we go from there. I said in my previous video that if I was going to try and emulate Olivia's vocal sound, I would use a compressor. Probably a tube compressor or a plug-in emulation. But I'm not doing that. What I'm using here is a little bit different. And what this is a multi-band compressor. So it's splitting up the audio into several bands. So 1 band, 2, 3, 4... We've got 5 bands there. And this very lowest band, we don't seem to have a compressor in there, but it probably doesn't matter. And each band can be set separately, and it's trying to get the maximum juice out of whatever is in there. And I've just used a preset here, and then I've just tweaked it to my own liking slightly. So let's listen to that again. We'll firstly bypass and then I'll switch it in.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it.
It's not obvious straight away what it's doing, but I find it just gives that little bit more liveliness to the sound, and I can't really explain it in technical terms. That I just like it, and I like using this on a complete mix as well, just to add just that pop, that life to the sound. So that is it. That is my version of Olivia Rodrigo's Vampire, and I'm just going to play some bits out of it again, and I'll show the song due respect in 2 ways. 1 by starting at the beginning, and 2 by missing out the bit that I didn't sing so well. Here we go.
I hate to give you satisfaction asking how you do now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool girl, you got it. Bloodsucker, dream crusher, bleed me dry like a godless vampire.
Did you notice I used the clean version of the lyrics there, and I tweaked it a little bit because I thought my version was better. And during the song, due respect by playing it, my version, to the end. I don't think it's how the original version ends, but here we go.
Bloodsucker, dream crusher, bleed me dry like a godless vampire.
Okay, that's it. I think got nothing left in my notes. That's it. See you soon.
That was almost not as bad as I expected.
Yes, but fortunately he has a day job.
Quick, switch it off!